no. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN Pregame Show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News.
Another beautiful day here in the Cayman Islands, but the sun has set and it is time for basketball here at the John Paul Gymnasium as the Boise State men's basketball team looks to win a championship tonight. Abe Jackson, nice day outside,
yeah,
beautiful day, maybe the best weather day we've had, but now it's time to lock it in here, and Boise State's going to try to win a championship tonight.
Yeah, only I think, what is this, the third time or maybe the fourth time that they've been in the championship game, never gotten one of these championships. And what's always kind of fun is that in any sport, it's rare that you get a chance to win a tournament or be the champion of something. It just doesn't happen a whole lot. So even though this is a holiday tournament, it still would mean something to the program. It would mean something to the players and into the university to come home with a little bit of hardware on one of these holiday tournaments.
It'll be Boise State and Boston College coming up, and best news of the day, Abe, is this game is actually going to end early, so you're not going to have to fill all this extra time on 670 KBOI.
30-minute pregame show.
Yeah, so Boise State and Boston College out of the ACC. This is going to be a lot of fun. There's 2 minutes, 39 seconds left in this I keep saying San Jose. They even have the same colors.
They do.
South Dakota State, and they are up 21 on Missouri State. So this is going to be a nice win for the KenPom number. So all the folks worried about the 1-point win yesterday, you're going to look up here in about a half an hour when they reset the KenPom, and it's going to be a nice number here for South Dakota State. They're following up their close loss to Boise State with an impressive win here, Abe Jackson.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're blowing out a team that they were only favored by small single digits over, and then also you take a look at Boston College. They beat Missouri State, I think, by 3, either 2 or 3.
Overtime,
yesterday. So, this Missouri State team might be a little hot and cold, and this is definitely one of their colder games right now. South Dakota State is taking it to them up by 25 now.
Boise State winners against Hampton, winners against South Dakota State, as we said, and they reached the championship game. As you said, they've been in the championship game a couple times before, but as Derek is asking here, never won, at least in the Leon Rice era. And we're trying to go further back than that, but we believe they have never won a early season preseason tournament like this. So you can say what you want about the field, whatever. It's not the Maui Invitational, it's not some of these other NIL tournaments, but this is a a preseason tournament, and they got a chance to bring home some hardware.
They do, and you get to rack up some wins over here as well. And at this point in the year, you can look at all the numbers and where's Boise State directly after the game. Are we up? Are we down? 3 spots here, 8 spots there. But really, I mean, you don't really know how it's going to affect you beating these teams until further on down the line. And we talked about this South Dakota State team yesterday after the game and how good they were, and they not surprised us, but impressed us. And now, I mean, they're hammering Missouri State, who only lost to Boston College in overtime by single digits.
Yeah, that's a good sign for sure. What'd you like yesterday? If you had 24 hours to think about it, the close game against South Dakota State, Boise State winning it when the free throw missed, and you've had a night to sleep on it and a day to kind of sit around. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, that the bench came through. I mean, that's going to be a theme all year long, is what is the bench going to do? The bench, I think, had 44 points.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that, folks. Dealing with Wi-Fi down here in the Cayman Islands, and apparently not as strong as it has been the last couple of days. But we'll keep trucking here. The game tonight, they've had all day to kind of recuperate. Like the extra time, how much do you think that's going to? They were back at 3:30, whatever, 4 o'clock yesterday. The game with Boston College didn't end until after 10 o'clock and went to overtime, as you said. Mm-hmm. What kind of advantage do you think Boise State had having those extra 6-7 hours? And what's the prep kind of like in a day getting ready for a game like this?
Well, a lot of it's just resting. I mean, I've always said that in a tournament setting, the first and second game don't really worry me, but then the third game is where you can really see the legs kind of go, and the jumpers are short and the defensive rotations aren't quite as crisp. So these extra few hours in a tournament like this that the Broncos got, I think are big, especially because you had some of your main guys playing heavy minutes the last couple of games, Cardenas and Degenhardt especially. Now, Omar Stanley didn't have a whole lot of minutes. I think it was only 13 because he was in foul trouble all game. But, anytime you can get rest in a tournament like this, especially going into the last game where you're going to need it, they'll take it.
Boise State's getting ready, doing some stretching down there, waiting for this game to end, the final minute or so, and it's a pretty cool feeling. I guess we've talked about this, but having a chance to win a championship, take some hardware back, and I think more importantly, Abe, win a 5th straight game and kind of keep this momentum rolling.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, this is a big momentum type tournament, not only because you could possibly win the championship and get some confidence going and really take some momentum back to Boise for some of these home games coming up, but also the wins. You said, I mean, you're starting to rack up the wins a little bit, and then the more you can get before you get the conference. I mean, I'm sitting here taking a look at thinking of the schedule, and I don't know if I know all the teams, but if the Broncos come through this with a win, St. Mary's tough, Washington State kind of tough too. I don't know. Broncos could get the conference with 1 or 2 losses.
And you look at the way the KenPom projects them, and yeah, there's a lot of wins right there, Abe Jackson, on that schedule here. So this is it's been a successful trip, but we said they kind of came down here, needed to win this game. It would be a really rough feeling, I think, if they have to get on that plane tomorrow with a loss. Yeah,
I think so. I think they came down here expecting to win, and they've done what they needed to do the first couple games, and now they got a chance to win a championship, but against another ACC team. They've already taken 1 out this year in Clemson, looking for 2.
What are the keys tonight, you think? Obviously, playing a team like Boston College, I don't need to know a thing about them. I just expect them to be physical and tough, and rebounding, I think, will be key. And just this is going to be, in my mind, kind of one of those tough defensive type games.
Yeah, well, all those things that you said are going to be there, but then also really good outside shooting. 40% as a team from 3, and they shoot a bunch of threes as well. So guarding that 3-point line will be just massive. And you pointed out to me earlier how horrible they are, though, from 2. So if you can just run them off that 3-point line and have them take something inside, you're looking pretty good.
And how is that easier said than done, stopping them from 3?
Yes, it is, because usually when you're trying to guard someone from 3, you got to go through multiple screens, and they're probably pretty quick, and they're strong and coming off screens of big guys. So it is tough. But this Bronco team is so versatile in how they can defend. They can switch, they can stay, they can double team. So they'll have a plan for it.
The Broncos have taken the floor here. You're going to hear Abe Jackson coming up, 670 KBOI. The bench last night, we talked about it today, but that bench was super, super impressive last night. They're going to need them again today.
Yeah, they are, and especially because it is the third game in 3 days and some heavy minutes for your starters. And so if you can get a really solid game again out of Buchanan or Ugbo, and Keene's going to play some minutes, and, of course, Julian Bowie's had a good game yesterday, the bench is going to be big. I think you're going to need all 10 guys who are suited up, and maybe all 9 are going to have to play and contribute really well.
Final thing, Abe, and we'll get you over to your broadcast, just some keys. And how you feeling about, I don't know if they cut down the nets or not for this tournament, but how you feeling about Boise State celebrating with a trophy out here in 2 hours?
I feel good, and one of the reasons I do feel good about it is because the Broncos beat a nice South Dakota State team with their 3 main scorers having really off games. And so then you still scored 83 points and got a win from basically your bench and Al Cardenas, who had a fantastic game as well. So if they can kind of put together the bench plus the starters and scoring, I got a good feeling about it.
Appreciate it, Abe. Good luck. We'll
right.
be listening to you in 17 minutes on 670 KBOI. Abe Jackson solo yet again for the championship game of this tournament, but I know Abe is going to do a tremendous job here as he gets set for Boise State and Boston College. They have put about 45 minutes on the clock. Looks like 40 minutes to be exact. They've got 40 minutes on the clock right now, and so a little bit of extra time for this one. You see Boise State starting to get some shots up. Tyler Whitmer, the outstanding trainer here, setting up the bands and things. We'll show you Boston College down at the other end. They are down here getting warmed up as well. So Boston College, they'll be in the white uniforms today. They are warming up, getting ready to go. You do have a pretty good crew for this game. I don't know the third referee, Greg is asking, but I know Doug Shows and Joe Lindsay, 2 big-time East Coast SEC referees. I believe Lindsay does ACC as well. But you do have 2 top 30, top 40 Ken Palm refs at least in this game, so it should be a pretty good officiating game. Doug Shows has actually done both of Boise State's games already here in the Cayman Island Classic, so he'll be on his 3rd game. But you see him plenty with John Calipari when he was at Kentucky yelling at him. Like, you recognize him. And Joe Lindsay is a solid official as well. So waiting to see who the 3rd official will be. But I would suspect for a championship game, they'll have a decent officiating crew for this one. So we take it down here again and show you Boise State warming up. Tyler Whitmer, again, the outstanding trainer for the Broncos, getting set for do what you got to do. They're getting set tonight. He's got his bands out. He's got all of his stuff out. He is fired up, and it's going to be fun. Nice crowd here. It looks like some of the locals came out. I believe this is going to be a nice crowd for this championship game. I see a lot of the locals and folks. Yes, there will definitely be a next tournament next year. This is the first time they've been in it in probably 5-6 years, and I don't think they'll be in it again anytime soon. There's usually a 5-6 year break between you switch tournaments. Taylor, appreciate the $4.99 there. That's super nice of you. Not necessary, but thanks. Might sound crazy, but believe Boise can win a game in March. Have to be the mid-level ACC team. There's a lot of factors. 3rd game in 3 days. Obviously, neutral site, not much of a crowd. I wouldn't directly correlate this game right now to how Boise State will fare in March, but Boise State certainly has a chance to win a championship, and that's the biggest part of this. As Boise State, again, has never won a preseason tournament in the Leon Rice era. They have won. They've gotten to the championship game. They've won a couple of games in these events. They've never won it all. And I don't think they actually cut down the net. I don't know if they give them a surfboard like they do at Maui. I don't know what kind of the trophy looks like. We'll have to wait and see here. But obviously an opportunity. And I was going to bring this up later, but, believe it or not, there's like a post-game party tonight for the winning team. And it's like at this spot down by the water, and there's food. And for those that are 21, drinks. And there's like a DJ. The Miami Heat DJ is going to be there. Like, apparently, like, this is a serious thing. We're like a big motivator for these teams to win this tournament, as they're treated to like a heck of a party tonight after the game, and the fans are allowed to come, and it's a huge thing with fans and the whole traveling party for the team, and they just throw a big-ass party for whatever team wins tonight. And so I think I saw the sign for it. The DJ for the Miami Heat is going to be rocking out, and they've got it's a real deal, and they had dinner at the place where it's at apparently the first night when they arrived in town. and they kind of hyped it up like, hey, you win the tournament, you get to come back and be part of this big party. And it's no joke. Like, obviously they want to win every game, but I think these guys want to finish off this tournament, win it, and go party tonight and have fun in the Cayman Islands before they head back tomorrow. So obviously those that are not 21 won't be partaking in all of that, but it's pretty cool that the tournament's doing this. There's like, some of these tournaments are giving out $1 million to the winner, like the NIL tournaments and all that. Well, the Cayman Islands Classic throws a huge party with the Miami Heat DJ for the winning team. So that's like a legit reason to try to win this tournament. So I don't know. I've yet to say go Broncos before, but I may have to fire one off at some point to get a chance to go to this party tonight if they're able to find a way to win. I don't know the legal drinking age in Cayman Islands. I do not know that. But we are going to hear from Leon Rice. We are going to hear from Mike Burns. We got a lot of stuff to get to here on the pregame show. Boise State, Clemson getting set to do battle here in the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic. It's been a fun couple days down here. Today was by far the best weather day. Perfectly blue sky, great weather. Just had a little bit of time to sit out there this afternoon, and I didn't say it. Let's be clear, Logan. I did not say it. I said I may have to give a go Broncos if that means a post-game party tonight. So I'm kind of kidding, but Google says 18. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I highly doubt that the team and coaches are going to all be doing that. That's mostly for the parents and the traveling party and the fans, because fans, everybody are all welcome to go to this party. Apparently, there's a big sign for it with the Miami Heat DJ. So I kind of thought it was a joke, and then I saw the sign and the thing. I'm like, no, it's a real deal. I was like, oh, okay. But Boise State back. Oh, did I say Clemson instead of Boston College? My bad. I was thinking of an ACC team. I don't know when I said Clemson. I apologize for that. Yeah, Boston College. Did I say Clemson College? Yeah, Boston College. No, I have not been drinking yet, but would love to after the game if Boise State can pull this out and win this tournament. Very nice win. I think it was about a 25-point win for South Dakota State. They were only favored to beat Missouri State by 1, and they just took them down by about 20. So South Dakota State was 144 in the Ken Palm. We'll have to check that number out, but that win for Boise State, as I tried to tell you guys yesterday, is going to continue to look better and better for Boise State, because I really, really do think that's going to be I really think that's going to be a good win for Boise State when it's all said and done. I think they're a solid team, and I think that's going to be a nice win. Pearson Carmichael getting into it a little bit, dancing. We'll see if Dylan Anderson continues to be in the starting lineup tonight. Last couple of games he started, but not played a ton of minutes. Javen Buchanan bringing that energy off the bench. 28 points. 28 points for Javen Buchanan last night. We'll see if he can continue his hot start or who the go-to guy is going to be for Boise State this year or this game. Boise State, again, the away team. They'll be in the blue uniforms. Boston College, the home team, they'll be in the white. CFP rankings also coming out in 10 minutes. We will discuss that here on the show. You guys will have to keep me updated a little bit as well, but I'll try. I cannot get that going. I'll try to be following on Twitter, but we will talk. The plan is for Carmichael to redshirt, but he is suited up, and you never know what can happen, injuries and things like that. But the plan right now is, yes, for Pearson Peanut Carmichael to redshirt. Taylor, appreciate you. Been a lot of fun down here, having a lot of fun. This is a work trip. It was a pretty expensive work trip, but it is obviously a little bit of time to enjoy the sun and the sights and sounds as well. We've gotten out a little bit, and so we're excited to be down here and cover Boise State in the Cayman Islands Classic, and we'll be back heading back tomorrow. Have to spend the night in Orlando tomorrow and then get back on Thanksgiving. Spend most of my Thanksgiving day flying back. Maybe a late Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe they'll give us some turkey on Southwest Airlines, but long trip back, but looking forward to being back, and hopefully Boise State will have some hardware to bring back with them in the championship game here of the Cayman Islands Classic. Did they move the show back to 6 due to the Memphis game? I don't know the answer to that. I thought it was supposed to be at 5. If that Memphis game is not going to be over, maybe they did have to push it back a little bit here. We'll have to wait and see what the situation is there with that. I assumed it was like 5 like normal. Maybe it's on ESPN2 for this one. I don't know the answer to that. So if somebody has the answer, they can let us know. I don't know the answer to that. As next batch of players coming over here, getting stretched out, getting loose. RJ Keene, he's full uniform already. He's ready to go. Hey, we're going to hear from Leon Rice in just a second. But I do want to, we got Mike Burns as well. Thank a couple of our sponsors real quick. Western Collective, make sure you head over to their brewery in Garden City. Check out the Horseshoe Golden Ale or the Orange Chaos Seltzer. Those both directly donate money back to the Horseshoe Collective, which supports Boise State student athletes, puts some money back in their pocket. Make sure you support the Horseshoe Collective, our friend Kerry Pruitt and company, by purchasing a Golden Ale or a Orange Chaos Seltzer from Western Collective. Delicious beverages. Would love to have a couple after the game tonight if they had them out here, but enjoy one tonight while you're listening to Abe Jackson over on 670 KBOI. RoePaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out as well, ROEPaint.com. Our title sponsor is RoePaint.com. Check them out, ROEPaint.com. All those concrete coatings, all those interior, exterior painting options, they can take care of you, and it's the perfect time to schedule right now at RoePaint.com. Tyson Degenhardt's warming up on the court. He is sponsored in part one of his NIL deals with Idaho Central Credit Union. So support the company's folks that are investing back in your favorite student athletes like Tyson Degenhardt. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Check them out. ICCU.com is a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out, BauscherRealEstate.com. Highly recommend the folks at Bauscher Real Estate. We bought and sold our home using Matt and his team. We're very happy with the service. Bauscher Real Estate. And, of course, Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com. They got locations across the Treasure Valley, the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Download that Skip app. Save up to 40% off at the checkout line. We appreciate Ridley's Family Markets and ShopRidleys.com. You see the Broncos warming up on the court. Getting set for this one. We'll take your score predictions, your thoughts. UConn falls again. Andy, I've heard this about 10 times, and not trying to be disrespectful or whatever, but no, I haven't. The game is on Flow Sports. You're going to have to pony up to $20 or $30 if you want to watch the game. If not, you're going to have to just listen to Abe Jackson on 670 KBOI. That's just the way it is. 670 KBOI, Abe Jackson on the call. I don't have any other idea for you at this point. So if you're interested in watching the game, you're just going to have to pony up the cash for tonight. Maybe it's worth $30 for you for the championship. I don't know. But 670 KBOI. Abe Jackson will be on the radio call, Bronco Radio Network. Highly recommend you guys check that out. Some of the post players here getting their work in. There's Emmanuel Ugbo, Omar Stanley, Ethan Lathan on your right there warming up. Tyson Degenhardt, Pearson Carmichael down here at the other end of the floor. I guess Justin says it's $19.99. I thought that was if you paid annually. If you paid just for 1 month, I thought it was $30, but I apologize if that's not the case. James saying, how about we beat Oregon State by 15-20 and worry about the seeding in a few weeks? Yeah, it's always fun, though, to see where they are now and just see how close a team like Arizona State is to Boise State. And, yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Somebody have a password for Flow Sports. They want to share, everybody throw in $1 or $2. Maybe Boise State should, or maybe Bronco Nation News should have purchased a login for everybody and passed it around or something to paying subscribers. Maybe we would have got some more paying subscribers had we done that. That would have been a good idea. CFP show not till 6 o'clock, so I guess that's not going to be for a while then tonight, unfortunately. The show's a little bit later due to this Memphis game, I guess, in the CFP. So appreciate you that for Grant. Thought we would have that. I guess we won't. Here on the pregame show. Mike Burns or Leon Rice? Who do we want to hear first? You want to hear from Leon Rice or Mike Burns? Whoever replies with the first comment, that's who you get. We got a longer interview with Mike Burns, a shorter interview with Leon Rice. We got both of them ready to go. You see guys getting the shots up here. Boston College is back in the locker room. The Broncos will be going back into the locker room here shortly. Derek wants to hear from Leon. All right, let's hear from Leon Rice then. He was the first one to respond. Derek, appreciate you. I had a chance to catch up with Leon Rice this morning. Your head coach, Leon Rice, getting set for this game in the Cayman Islands Classic against Boston College.
You know, you got to see the forest for the trees, and what I mean by that is if I would have told you in the offseason that, hey, we're going to play an ACC team, we're both 5-1, we're playing for a championship in a great spot, you'd have been so excited to play, and that's the way we're going to approach it. And not that the ACC thing is the all-important, but numbers-wise, it helps you. And, you know, you look at the team we played yesterday, if you put ACC jerseys on them, and they probably beat half of the Power Fives in the country right now, though, you know, the way, you know, when I watch all these games around the country. But it's a great opportunity for us, and our energy and effort's going to reflect that.
When you look back, what was most impressive about last night's
game? Well, what was most impressive, we found a way, because, you know, when they were making all those shots, you felt like, boy, our defense isn't very good. Our defense is, sometimes the offense was terrific, and we contested the heck out of them. They made faders, they made 25-footers, they made a lot of contested shots, and I think the impressive thing was they gave us an A-plus game, and we found a way to win, so that's a good sign.
What's the scouting report on Boston College?
Their numbers from three have been terrific this year, and they're a really, really good offensive rebounding team. So I think it's defending the three line. Because, you know, in gyms like this, it's kind of shooters' gyms. The rims seem to be a little softer. The background's good. You know, sometimes playing a big arena, it's harder to make threes. And so you got to defend the three line, but then you got to rebound. And if you do that, that can get us running.
So to be in a championship game and have one to go, but just, you know, big picture, the feeling of coming down here, being one game from accomplishing the mission and a lot to play for tonight, and then an early season, you know, cool opportunity for this team to have, you know, the pressure and the feel of a championship game tonight.
Yeah, it's great experience. And it's going to take all 10 of our guys, not all 10, but everybody down here. The coaches, we're going to have to do good. The players are going to have to do good. Everybody's going to have a great effort tonight so we can get what we want to accomplish.
And that is to win a championship here in the Cayman Islands Classic championship game. And the Broncos will have a chance to do that here in about 24 minutes on the clock as we get set, the crowd filing in. Going to be a nice crowd tonight. Championship game. Not a lot going on tonight, I guess, on a Tuesday night in the Cayman Islands because a lot of folks are in the building here to watch this one. Should be a nice atmosphere. Should be a fun game here for Boise State. You see Dylan Anderson right there, him and Tyson Degenhart going through some warm-ups. Some of the other players at the other end of the floor are getting ready as well. Javen Buchanan slapping 5 with a fan over there. Can he replicate his 28-point performance? Certainly curious about that. Andrew Meadow in the corner had a little bit of a tough shooting night. We'll see if he can get back on track. Zach chiming in, of all the players here on Boise State, who stands out as the best defensive player? Sounds like Leon isn't too fond of the defensive play. Well, the defensive play has not been great, Zach. I mean, they've just given up way too many points to some of these guards, way too many points to some of these players. They've played some pretty talented guards. There's no doubt about it, but they've also had some struggles to slow down some guards. So I think the perimeter defense certainly is something that needs some work. And this is a team in Boston College, top 25 in the country in shooting the three-point shot. I'm checking to see if the South Dakota KenPom is updated yet, and it is not. South Dakota 144 at KenPom. They were only projected to win by 1 and just won by 21, so I think that number is going to shoot up. But with that said, I'm looking at the Boston College number here. They are number 119, so this is going to be a solid quad 2 opportunity for Boise State. And if you look at Boston College, they are number 31 in the country in offensive rebound percentage. They get a lot of offensive rebounds. They just attack the glass. They got some big physical dudes. And they're also number 27 in the country, 39.5% from three-point range. So this is certainly going to be a situation if you're Boise State that you have to rebound the ball tonight. It's going to be a huge key to rebound the ball and to limit their three-point shots. They're going to have to get out on the perimeter. I don't know if I've ever seen a stat like this, guys, but Boston College is number 27 in the country in three-point percentage, and they're number 339th in the country in two-point percentage. For whatever reason, you get them shooting the ball inside the three-point line, and they really struggle. So if Boise State can just not give up so many threes and can try to get into the into the paint, make them go into the paint defensively, and then rebound the basketball, that would be a huge for Boise State in this game. Need to get more from your big three as well. Tyson Degenhart had 11 points, but wasn't really a factor, and didn't you're lucky Javen Buchanan went for 28 because Omar Stanley was in foul trouble, only played 13 minutes. Andrew Meadow didn't really do much in that game as well. Tyson Degenhart, I said, had 11, but you're going to need your best players to be your best players in this game. If Dylan Anderson, you need the bench guys. No, Julian Bowie, you'd love 13 points for him again. Emmanuel Ugbo doing some things. You'd love to see that as well. Obviously, Buchanan, you can't expect 28, but if you can get 15 out of him, you'd love that. But you need Tyson Degenhart to give you more than 11. You need some of these other, guys here to just get going. R.J. Keene and company, but I really do think this is an Omar Stanley, Tyson Degenhart, Alvaro Cardenas type game. Your big three need to be your big three. And Cardenas was good yesterday. He had 16 points, 8 assists, 6 assists, 7. I guess it was 7 assists. In the 2 games down here, Cardenas has 15 assists in 2 games. I mean, he's been really impressive. Dustin A. just dropped the $20 to watch the game. Who's offering Dustin a few bucks to share the password maybe? I don't know. Cold beer or something, Dustin. Maybe you got 20 minutes to pick a bar and meet up and watch the game together maybe. I don't know. But Abe Jackson, 670 KBOI is where you can also follow the game if you're not able to watch it. Tyrese saying 20 and 10. Clemson guard was a stud. Agree with that. Oh, Large Am's throwing up $5. You guys may have to figure something out here. I should have bought it on BNN and see if we could just share the password, but I'm sure they probably wouldn't have let that happen. I shouldn't be advocating for that. That's probably illegal, but that would have been kind of cool if we could have made it work to have everybody get on the BNN account if you're a paying subscriber to BNN. You see Alvaro Cardenas walking by right there. Nice crowd. It doesn't look like it in that picture, but there is a nice crowd coming in here. It's going to be there's been a lot of jokes on social media, whatever. I get it. It's a high school gym, middle school gym. Well, it is actually a high school gym, and we're down here in the Cayman Islands, and it is what it is from that standpoint. But no lawsuit. I didn't share anything. I said we should, but we didn't, so we should be good. No lawsuit. No lawsuit. We're all playing stuff by the books here. Again, we got about 20 minutes on the clock. Boise State getting set. Our officiating crew making their way onto the floor. Boise State and Boston College getting set for the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic here in about 19 minutes. This is a veteran officiating crew. You should have no problems dealing with them tonight, but I'm sure I say that in jest because Leon Rice always has a thing or two to say to the officials. Cayman Islands has no rules. Wish there was a broadcast of this game. I agree with you, Zach. Championship game of the tournament would be fun if there was. Championship game, a lot on the line, and it's Flow Hoops, Flow TV to watch the championship game. That is a little bit of a bummer, to say the least. Hey, Mike Burns spoke with the media. I want to get to him in a minute. Mike Burns spoke with me, actually. I'm the only media down here, me and Abe Jackson. But we're going to hear nice, candid conversation with the defensive guru, Mike Burns, some inside stuff, getting you ready for tonight's game against Boston College in just a minute. But I want to tell you about the Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game, the SpaTeam.com. Been around since 1978, part of the Boise State home team. They got locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Check them out, whether it's a spa for the back patio, a pool table for the game room, a sauna. They got you covered. Check out their full inventory at the SpaTeam.com. The 72-hour sale is coming from our friends at Lithia Ford Boise. Ben Franklin said time is money, and in this case, the 72-hour sale at Lithia Ford Boise. Time is saving money on new Ford trucks and SUVs. Trade in, trade up, buy or lease, new or used. Help make every minute count till 6 p.m. this Sunday. Check them out online, LithiaFordBoise.com. You can stop by Boise's only Ford store at Fairview and Milwaukee. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out as well. SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Check them out. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out. Great food, delicious food. They're also hiring if you're looking for a job. Promotional opportunities, free food while you work, half the wages the next day after your shift. Highly recommend it. Check them out. Taco Bell Works, TacoBellWorks.com. Speaking of a job, transportation compliance service, check them out as well. And again, we're going to hear from Mike Burns shortly. Transportation compliance service, transcompservice.com. Transcompservice.com. The trucking industry is booming right now. I highly recommend you check them out. Check out transcompservice.com if you're looking to get into the trucking industry. Local company helping folks all over the United States. Back here live on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. You see the referees in the camera here. There's a look here of the scoreboard. We got 16 minutes on the clock. You see RJ Keenan company getting some shots up. Mike Burns, an exclusive one-on-one interview earlier today with Bronco Nation News. This is why you watch Bronco Nation News. This is why you subscribe, to get an assistant coach giving you the inside look, the inside scouting report before this game. Keep getting your score predictions in, your thoughts, and where you're watching from. Let us know your thoughts, and we will hear from Mike Burns as we get closer to tip-off here. Championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic.
All right, Assistant Coach Mike Burns joining us, getting set for the title game of the Cayman Islands Classic here against Boston College in a little bit. Coach, 2 wins, playing for a championship. Had to be a good feeling waking up today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when we came down here, the goal was to do something we've never done before with this program, which is to come to one of these, multi-team events and get out of there with a title. And obviously, yesterday's game was a barn burner. And it was a really well-played game. And those were 2 teams that were well-schooled in what they wanted to do, and it was a battle right to the end. And I was proud of our guys to, be able to find a way to scratch out a win against a team that's going to, I would say they're going to be a conference champion in their conference, and they'll be an NCAA tournament team. And to do it with our bench, because our starters didn't necessarily have their best game, but Javen to come off the bench and do what he did was a monster in that game. And then Julian comes in and is perfect from the field. And it's great to see him kind of start on that upward tick that, a great freshman like he will do. So they did a great job.
I mean, aside from maybe a 50-point win where you played the bench the whole second half, I can't ever remember a time where your bench outscored your starters yesterday. I mean, that's got to be a good sign moving forward when you do have an off night to have, you have some impact guys that can come off the bench.
Yeah, it speaks to the depth of this team and the strength of our roster, and then also to the character of the kids that are doing that, because it's not easy always to come off the bench. You don't always know when your number is going to get called. So to stay ready and do, what Javen and Julian did, but what RJ Keene does night in and night out, and Emmanuel does. I mean, those guys, they're always ready to go, and when their number gets called, they come in and make key contributions.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened with the internet there. Sorry about that, guys. We're here dealing with Cayman Islands internet, and it hasn't been great on the pregame show here, so I apologize for that. I'm going to try to find out about where we were and get back to Mike Burns here on the pregame show.
Just the story there, because obviously he looks like he's going to be a star for you guys the next couple of years.
Well, I mean, he was, in the transfer portal. He was a first-team NAI All-American, so you knew about him from that regard. But, there's a guy back in Indiana, Jeff Potter, who we have a relationship with, who brought him to Coach Rice's attention. And so that kind of started the process with us. And, we were just really fortunate to get him on a visit and kind of get to know him and his mother and his aunties and his family. And we're really lucky to have him in our program.
And as the story goes, I guess someone named Simon sat to him next on the plane, and this random guy, we got to find out who he is.
Bronco Nation doing its work again. I mean, if you're on a flight to Boise, Idaho, and they know you're coming for football or basketball, you're gonna get recruited, and it won't be by the coaches. So kudos to Bronco Nation.
Julian Bowie coming in as a freshman, doing what he's doing, and I know you guys had high hopes for him, but to him, hit a huge shot like that from the corner and look like he belongs already this young into his career. What can you say about him?
Well, he does belong. I mean, and that's why he's here. And being a freshman in college basketball is hard, and it's what they're going through, and you can help them as a coach. But when you get there as a freshman, the game is more physical, it's moving faster, and the bullets are flying, and it takes time to get acclimated to that. And part of what we just keep telling those guys is just, really concentrate on your effort, and the game eventually will slow down. And last night it was awesome to see that all of a sudden, in the midst of all this stuff, the game slowed down for him. And it was right there in front of him, and he made the plays he needed to make at the right time that we needed him. And I mean, heck, it's a 1-point game, so he was perfect from the field. So you can't underestimate his contributions, and it was so awesome to see him have that game.
Mike Burns, assistant coach, joining us here on the Lithia Ford Boise Pregame Show, getting set for Boise State and Boston College in the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic. And I want to ask about your point guard, Alvaro Cardenas. We saw his competitiveness come out last night. I know that was one of the things that you guys liked about him, was just wanting a guy that wants to win. And he said he's never been in a situation like this. He's just fueled by the facilities, the culture, the success, wanting to win. And last night I thought he was super aggressive. I saw him talking a little trash to their bench. Like, he just wanted to do whatever he needed to do to help you guys win this game. To have a point guard like that and to see him shoot the ball, last night like you guys know he can, how nice was that to see?
Well, I mean, we thought prior to the game that they might go under his handoffs and some of his pick and rolls. And so that's kind of one of the ways they guard. And Coach Duryea kind of challenged Al and Coach Rice to step up and knock down some of those shots, and he did. And I think, the greatest compliment that I could pay Alvaro isn't what I say, it's what the opposing coaches say every game after we get done playing. You'll go through the handshake line, or you'll talk to because we all know each other in this business. And to a man, they'll all say, "I love your point guard. God, he's tough. He plays his ass off." And that's Alvaro in a nutshell. He's a winning player. He's a competitive player. He's a great leader, and he can beat you in multiple ways. Like yesterday, it was, a lot of things he did with the ball and his shooting. But on a lot of nights, it's his ability to find other people and the assists, and then, the tenacity that he brings to our team defensively out there at the top of the floor is just all those things add up to a tremendous importance and impact winning for us in a great way.
You mentioned defense. What's your overall thought right now on how you're doing on defense?
I mean, we're still growing. You look at the numbers and the metrics, and we're not where we need to be. Today will be a challenge. We got to guard the three-point line a little bit better. And, after reviewing the film versus South Dakota State, I mean, we did, our deal is to contest shots. That's something that we could, we know over time statistically will work in our favor. And, during the game, you're thinking, God, did we get there? But you went back and watched the film, and we did contest. I mean, you got to give South Dakota State credit. They made a lot of tough shots, but we got to get better. I mean, and we will. I mean, and these last 4 games, playing a team like Clemson that puts you in multiple actions and multiple predicaments, and South Dakota State's the same way. Hampton was, a ball-in-hand team that really stressed your three-point defense. So these games are really helping us get better as a group, because I thought our effort yesterday and our willingness to stay in the fight was outstanding. And as long as we keep working on that and building on that, we're gonna be the elite defensive team that we need to be and know we can be.
That perimeter defense, I mean, you've faced some pretty darn good guards to start the year too, but there's been some guys that have had some success. I mean, is that the perimeter defense, as you're talking about guarding the three-point line, and just particularly with the guards against guards? You feel you're obviously not where you want to be, but how do you feel about that part of it?
No, I think I'm like I said, we're not there yet, but we're trending in the right direction. And you talk about, yesterday, you talk about, Sailors hitting, 17-foot fadeaways.
With hands in his face.
Yeah, so we'll live with that. That's statistically, that's a shot that will never beat us. And you know what? Didn't beat us yesterday. When they go in, it's hard. But you have to, you got to have a plan. You got to stick to the plan. And if you have a solid plan and you fight to stick to that plan, ultimately the numbers will work in your favor, and that's the direction we're trending in. So we're not worried about it, but we got to keep getting better because the numbers tell us we do.
I want to ask about Boston College to wrap up in a second, but just the experience down here, the time together, the camaraderie, the guys. I know you're not getting much of that. You're in there studying film and all that, 24/7. But just the team bonding part of this trip, and these guys getting 2 wins and now getting to play for a championship tonight. Just what's the experience been like down here?
Well, I mean, when you got the quality of people that we have in our locker room, it's the old adage, they're great players, better people. Well, you could say that about every single Bronco. So when you got guys like that together on a trip of this length, it's always a positive. I mean, we enjoy each other's company. We have a lot of fun together. Guys, play for each other, and that's kind of why we're playing for a championship in this tournament tonight. And so it's been a fun trip. It's been a business trip, but it's been a fun trip. And, we got to go out and swim with the Stingrays. And obviously Julian kissed the Stingray because he's got 7 years good luck. So he might not miss a shot the rest of his Bronco career. But it's been fun.
So final thing, what's the scouting report on Boston College? What do you guys need to do to bring home a trophy?
Well, I mean, you look at their numbers, and it's right there in front of you. I mean, they rebound the ball very well. That's supposed to be one of our strengths, so that'll be strength versus strength. We got to keep them off the offensive glass and do our job there. Offensively, we've been really, really good at sharing the ball, and our assist to turnover numbers have been excellent. So if we can keep doing that at a high level, I mean, we're 25th best offensive team in the country right now. So, and that's without making the number of threes we would have thought that we would have made by this point. So we just need to stay on course there and keep executing. And Coach Rice and Coach Dury have done a great job of putting the pawns in the right places in that regard. And then, ultimately, defensively, it's very, you just got to look at the numbers. They are 25th in the country in three-point shooting. They shoot 3.395 from the three, and they're like 330th in two-point field goal percentage. They shoot, .410 overall. So we got to force them into tough twos, get them off the three line, force them into tough twos, rebound our ball, and then, offensively it'll take care of itself. So all those things are easy to say, but that's what the plan needs to be, and that's what we need to execute.
Well, good luck tonight, Coach, and hopefully you bring home a championship.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, BJ.
There he is, Mike Burns. Appreciate him for joining us here on the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show as we get you set. 3 minutes on the clock. Boise State and Boston College coming up shortly. Hey, Ashton Genty, you need some Ashton Genty gear? Make sure you check it out. Ashton Genty gear at theblueandorangestore.com. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out online. You can make an order from anywhere in the world at theblueandorangestore.com, or you can buy your Boise State gear the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall there next to Pro Image. You still have a little bit of time to get on out there and get the Breezy bundle, a Breezy Dubar touchdown for $1 at Jackson's. Hot dog and a soda on Tuesdays when Breezy Dubar gets a touchdown, and you can get that at Jackson's. Check them out online, Jackson's, a hot dog and a soda for $1. I think they even throw in a banana and some other cool stuff. So check them out. And don't forget, starting in January, 70 points for the Broncos, which they've done every game this season, gets you a hot dog and a soda for $2 come basketball season. That's probably going to happen a decent amount here moving forward. Our friends at Lean Feast, check them out as well. Delicious food. Can't wait to get back to Boise and have some Lean Feast. Steak, shrimp, chicken, fish, you name it. They got the best, healthiest food options, all different diets, and it's all customizable. It's fresh, not frozen. How much of it do you want? All that good stuff. Check it out. LeanFeastMeridian.com, and they now deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley. LeanFeastMeridian.com. And our friends at My Signature Roofing, if they win a championship tonight, let's get some post-game voicemails. SpeakPipe.com/BNN. Signature Roofing, MySignatureRoofing.com. Check them out. SpeakPipe.com/BNN is where you leave the voicemails. But Signature Roofing, whether it's re-roofs, repairs, estimates, inspections, they can do it all. They got an NIL deal with RJ Keene. We'll be bringing you more content from that coming up shortly. My Signature Roofing, MySignatureRoofing.com. And heads up, tomorrow night, Riley and Rid is going to be on a Wednesday. Special Wednesday edition of Riley and Rid coming up at 8 o'clock tomorrow. That will be a remote show, not on location at the James. A remote show on Wednesday, but Riley and Rid is coming up tomorrow night. We'll have a modified show tomorrow morning. It'll be Brad Bedell and John Mallory. I'll be making my way back from the Cayman Islands to Orlando. So John Mallory and Brad Bedell will have a 9 a.m. morning show for you tomorrow. They'll talk about the CFP rankings and all that good stuff, and we may bring that up on the post-game show as well. We're set to go. Boise State, we got to get off the show here. They're getting ready to start the game. Boise State, the Cayman Islands Classic championship game, going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the game. Listen to Abe on 670 KBOI, and we'll be back with the post-game show. Hopefully a championship trophy celebration and a lot of fun. We'll have some videos and things on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at BJ Rains. We'll have updates, videos, full highlights on the post-game show. We'll see you in about 2 hours back here at Bronco Nation News Live and BroncoNationNews.com. That'll do it from the Western Collective Studios. Our title sponsor is RowPaint.com. This has been the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see if Boise State can make history and win their first championship. We'll have it all to break down for you on the postgame show. My name is BJ Rains, live here in the Cayman Islands at John Paul Gymnasium. We'll talk to you on the postgame show. Hopefully it's a happy one. This is Bronco Nation News Live, the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show, BroncoNationNews.com.